Coming up on World's Greenest Homes. In the Hollywood Hills, a couple who want their home to be a chemical-free zone.
We don't use chemicals anywhere.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
And 7,000 miles away, a solar-powered house in Australia where the wildlife does the landscaping.
I get visited by kangaroos and by wallabies. They'll come right up underneath here.
I'm Emmanuel Belliveau. Come with me on World's Greenest Homes and see the most extraordinary homes on the planet. Homes that are gorgeous, cool, and green.
Hollywood, California, one of the most glamorous cities in the world. Our first home was built right under the H of the Hollywood sign.
Los Angeles, California. Founded in the 1780s, it's now the second largest city in the U.S.
This is vintage Hollywood. Humphrey Bogart used to live next door, and in a house just up the street, Aldous Huxley wrote A Brave New World. But this house is famous for its green architecture. The homeowners have gone through great lengths to make sure the house is stylish, yet as chemical-free as possible.
Built into the Hollywood Hills, this home has become their own personal testing ground for some of the latest eco-friendly materials. Meet James and Nancy Chuda. James is an architect and has been designing and building green since way before it was cool. To get to the house, you have to cross a glass bridge over a water garden. On the first floor, there's a media room. On the second level, a two-story living room and kitchen. Up another flight of stairs is the master suite.
Welcome to the Chuda Green Home.
James, how are you?
Good, nice to see you, Manny.
You too, Nancy.
Yeah,
How
it's
are you?
a pleasure to have you here.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's
Yes.
fantastic. I love that water feature you have outside. It's beautiful. You forget about all that LA traffic right away.
The lobby is 2 stories high and allows natural light to filter in from the top of the house. And there's an unusual lighting feature.
It's actually raw silk and compact fluorescence. It's designed by an artist in Israel.
We haven't changed those light bulbs in over 3 years.
Just inside the front door is the media room.
Oh, it's very nice.
Yeah,
It's very organic in here. I love it.
Yeah. And we're underground, Jim, right?
Yeah, this is actually underground. You can still see outdoors where the bridge was, the entrance, and every room still, even though it's underground, still has ambiance of the outside, nature coming into the house. But the rest is all concrete underground.
So this is all concrete formed up against the
That's
holding
right.
the hill back.
Retaining wall, yeah.
And you get plenty of light coming through here.
Plenty of light
Yeah.
coming through here.
And it stays cool, you know?
Those ruby shoes, are those Dorothy's?
They're not Dorothy's, but they're one of 7, and they were a gift to our daughter, and I think we'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, those were a gift to Colette when she was going through cancer treatment. And they're very special, and obviously they're here to remind us of how special she was in our life, in our home, in our heart.
Yeah, great. They're wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. What do we have on the walls here?
Well, we were obviously attempting to find materials that don't off-gas. And one good example is right behind you here, which is a very lovely grass cloth. And even the finish, Jim will tell you, they're citrus-based, right,
Right.
Jim? Yeah.
Yeah, you can smell a little bit of the citrus in there.
Right. Most paints contain pesticide residues, and they're not healthy for you, your children, or your pets, really.
And the floor is great. I notice you have leaves in the floor. Have you not swept up today?
Yeah, we had fun. We really had fun with this. We
Yeah.
thought we'd really bring nature inside.
Yeah.
We found all the leaves in the neighborhood. One leaf came from Humphrey Bogart's house across the street.
Did you get his permission first?
Celebrity leaf prints. You can't resist if you live in Hollywood, right?
All right, so I'm excited. I want to see the rest of the house.
All right.
Let's do it.
Look at this space. I love the height in here, Nancy. It's gorgeous.
Oh, well, this is truly an inspirational room.
On the second floor, there's a 2-story living space with huge trapezoid windows. The frames are recycled steel.
You have a sense of what time of day it is all the time, because as the sun moves across the sky, you know, different times of the day, it fills each room.
And these are all custom windows?
Custom-made windows, yeah. But they're all double pane glass, and so that really adds to the thermal balance.
Above us is a painting of a little girl. James and Nancy's passion for clean, green design isn't just accidental.
Well, that's a portrait of our daughter, Colette.
Okay.
And we lost her to cancer at age 5.
James and Nancy believe Colette's illness may have been environmentally linked.
How did she inspire you to design this home?
It was a journey, and we've really focused my work as an architect about the healthy aspect as much as the sustainable and energy efficiency. And in this house, like the paints have no off-gassing, and also the materials are such, like this, it's all steel frame. It's a recyclable. Steel's one of the most recyclable materials. You don't have any wood in the house exposed, so that there's like very few termites. We don't have to use fumigation chemicals and things.
What material did you choose for the face of your fireplace?
Actually, this is a volcanic stone, comes from Brazil. That's a natural texture.
Is it a hone finish on that?
Actually, no, that comes that way, and if they polish it, it'd be all black, pure black.
Across the room, something else has caught my eye.
Beautiful cabinet you have there.
It's a wonderful cabinet. This is called Kriya wood. It's like sorghum. It's like a reed, you know, grows in the swamp, and they put it into panels like this.
They press it together.
Yeah, and you can make all kinds of cabinetry and things.
Your place is like a treasure hunt. There's so many cool things to see. What else is there to see?
Well, you should go to the kitchen. That's her domain.
You know, Manny, they
next
say
level.
the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Okay.
Do you agree?
I agree.
Come on.
All right, feed me.
Okay.
We've seen the two-story living space. Now it's on to the kitchen.
Wow.
Welcome to the heart of our home.
What a great view from here, too.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful?
And there are some eye-catching colors in here. The countertops are enamel glaze on lava stone. Cabinets are made from Vangay and cherry wood and are formaldehyde-free. These cherry veneer storage cabinets are a clever way to hide all sorts of kitchen clutter.
Is it difficult to keep a house chemical-free?
Believe it or not, the space is very easy to maintain in terms of cleanliness. And the most important thing is that we do not use chemicals in the house. That is why we don't use chemicals anywhere.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
So Nancy uses natural substances like baking soda and apple cider vinegar to keep the home sparkling clean. Over here is Nancy's favorite part of the kitchen, this ingenious sink.
But what's really nice about this design here is that as you're having a dinner party and you know your guests are engaged and you obviously are getting up to take the plates off, you just kind of put them in here, and then again, another wonderful hideaway feature.
And there's no need for a garbage disposal unit.
When I'm done with my food scraps and all of those kind of things, I put it right here in our composting bin. Everything in there is creating a wonderful humus, which will then supply, hopefully, our organic garden with the things that it needs.
Though they don't have a big garden, Nancy is still able to grow most of the organic fruits and vegetables they need.
So we're gonna do a little composting now. Basically, we're just putting these scraps, table scraps from yesterday and today's lunch. It's going to go into the compost, and you'll see sort of a brown liquid that is developing.
Do you add anything to that, like any dirt to mix with it?
No, basically it's going to find its own way to create microbes, and all of this breaks down and creates basically a great topsoil and a mulch-like property for your garden.
It's a chemical-free, inexpensive way to fertilize and boost the productivity of your garden. Back inside the house, there's a room I'm dying to see.
This is it. This is the famous red bathroom. It's been featured in countless magazines all over the world. And this red tile, this is beautiful. This is actually recycled glass put in by hand. It's stunning, it's just all red. Now, red might not be your choice for color in a bathroom, but Nancy sure makes a bold color statement.
On the third floor, translucent glass stairs lead to the master suite.
Step into our bedroom and meet the master architect again.
This is great.
I'm a lucky girl. We sort of wanted this area to be very serene.
Yeah, the Zen thing going on in here.
The colors are all like at twilight time. Very restful.
The wall covering behind the bed is another example of all the research that went into building and furnishing James and Nancy's home.
This is actually tree form, and it actually is like wheatgrass impregnated in recycled plastic. It's a great material for cabinetry or just decoration.
Even the rug is organic. It's a tufted wool from New Zealand.
It's great for yoga or stretching in the morning.
Rounding off the top floor are 2 more rooms. The first is a his and her master walk-in closet.
Look at this closet, huh?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite places, I have to say.
Next door is the bathroom. Check out the top filling tub. When the water overflows, it's reheated and circulated back into the tub.
This is kind of where the day begins and certainly where the day ends, and it's a nice way to end a day in here.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it.
But the day's not over yet. This is Hollywood after all, so Nancy and James are throwing a party.
A toast to one of the world's greenest homes.
Thank you very much.
From LA, we head across the globe to the land down under, where our next homeowner wanted the perfect environment. That meant a home that was luxurious and sustainable. As you'll see, what she created comes straight out of the pages of a romance novel.
We're in Australia, near Mount Macedon, about 40 minutes north of Melbourne. Far from the hectic city life of downtown Melbourne, Mount Macedon is surrounded by vineyards. Some of the best Australian wines come from around here. Our next home is called Taprobane, which means a little bit of paradise. Not only is it solar powered, it's been designed to recycle rainwater. Biochemist turned romance author Stephanie Lawrence lives here with scientist husband Keith, daughter Lauren, and their 2 feline friends Shakespeare and Marlowe.
My favourite thing would have to be relaxing. Just so peaceful around here.
The house is set up as a main pavilion that frames a center courtyard. There's a library, an enormous living, dining, and kitchen space, and a master bedroom and master bathroom with a lap pool right next door. A hallway from the main pavilion takes you to a home office, and onto the guest bedroom wing and laundry room.
Hi, come in. Welcome to Taprobane, my home. This is my library where I do most of my writing. This space is where I sit for many, many hours every day of the week.
Stephanie has published more than 30 romance novels, and this room is one of the main reasons they built the house. It's the perfect space for a writer to get creative.
This is my wonderful table, which has proved a huge boon. It's one huge slice through a tree trunk, and it has just the right shape for a writer to sit at. Hello. This is my fainting couch, according to my editor. She loves it. It's where I sit when I'm just reading over my manuscripts that I'm editing.
But if Stephanie needs to fall back on a bit more inspiration, there is another spot in this room to get the creative juices flowing.
I quite often actually sit up here and work on my copy edits. I get visited by kangaroos and by wallabies. They'll come right up underneath here.
There's no need for a gas-guzzling lawnmower. Wallabies use their own renewable energy to do all the groundskeeping.
The fireplace is a fairly major entity here. These fireplaces are so efficient. You can run them for maybe 3-4 months full on every day, and you don't have to clean them out. In a day, I'd probably put an armful of logs in, and you have about that much ash at the end of that.
A limestone corridor with solar-powered radiant floor heating takes you to the main living space.
We use this room for entertaining and also for relaxation in general. The windows are both functional and decorative. Yes, they look good. Yes, these pyramid ceilings look very different, but They're actually there for a reason, and that's to let in as much natural sunlight as possible.
But this house doesn't need air conditioning because it's so well insulated. There's lots of double glazing filled with argon gas, and the glass panes have a special coating.
They've got an e-coating on them which increases the ability to suck in heat but not lose it through the windows. And here again we have our fireplace. It's a double-sided fireplace, very similar design otherwise to the one in the library. Again, enormously efficient. This staircase is just an amazing design.
The stair treads are made of sustainably forested mahogany gum, and the staircase leads to a small tower room on the roof.
To get both the staircase and the fireplace flue up was going to virtually take up most of that room up there. And the guy who was designing the fireplace and the staircase said, well, why not put them both together? We can do this. And he's designed it so well that you can still put your hand comfortably on that flue that goes up there. You won't get burned as you walk up the staircase.
The double-sided fireplace is shared with a dining space. The table's made from recycled jarrah wood.
We've had a number of very nice parties here with big family, extended family.
At the far end of the room behind the staircase is the kitchen, home to more smart green design.
I should draw attention to these, which are magnetic induction hot plates. They use very, very little energy, and they are very efficient because they heat the pot, they don't heat the surface. There's nothing that's hot around except for the pot and what's in it.
The kitchen opens onto a central courtyard and herb garden.
It's just beautiful to sit out here and we can have a meal and look out over the water feature. The other major thing I do here in the courtyard is that I've got all my herbs here. Very close access to the kitchen, so I can just zip out and snip this, snip that.
Using a mixture of water features and plants like Stephanie can go a long way to help keep your garden cool in a hot climate. Water features, combined with breezes, create a cooling effect caused by evaporation. It can make even the hottest days that bit more comfortable. The larger the water surface, the better the cooling. Plants can also help to cool the air around them, and are natural air filters, absorbing harmful chemicals like ozone.
And then in the evenings of a warm day, we can open up all the windows and you have beautiful smells and the tang of roses and various other herbs and so on coming in the house, blowing in the house, along with a cool breeze.
Next stop is Stephanie's home office.
Now, as a career author, a business office was really important to me because when we were living in the previous house, I had both business and the creative work going on in one room. It was very distracting to be trying to write a book and having messages from your editor or from your agent or something else or whatever is waiting for you there, and it's very hard to sort of put that out of your mind and write. Most writers find that they're most productive in the mornings before you let the rest of the world in. Deal with all the rest of that stuff in the afternoons, and it was one of the design briefs again for this house was to separate the two by a decent distance.
Along the hallway is the master suite.
We're coming down here, it's our little medieval-like corridor, to the master bathroom. And this is the place where romance authors can come and relax at the end of a hard day. We have here a bath which is just divine. Once you have the temperature right before you get in, you just press a button and it will keep the temperature that you started with. It's an effervescence bath, so it just puts out nice little soft bubbles that bubble against your skin.
In the shower stall, there's a rainhead faucet, which, at the press of a button, doubles as a steam room. The faucets are low flow, and the toilet is dual flush, and it's all recycled rainwater.
We're in a country that has water restrictions in absolutely every single capital city at the moment. We don't have water restrictions because we've elected to make this entire block water neutral. The way it works is that water's collected off all the roofs. We have nearly 1,000 square metres of roof. It gets drained into great big concrete water tanks or cisterns, 260,000 litres of water down there. When they're full, and they're full quite often. And it sits there, they're half buried into the ground, they stay very cool. So then that water is filtered there and pumped up on demand to all the taps in the house. And that's water for everything, for the pool, for the spa, for this bath, for the water feature. It's all the extra water that we use here, but ultimately all the water that's used in the house goes back out through a worm farm treatment system, which then seeps back into the soil and back into the groundwater where it would have originally been if we hadn't collected it. There's actually enough rain that falls from the sky to have that abundance of water if only you actually catch it efficiently in between. And now moving on, this is the master bedroom.
The master bedroom looks out onto the central courtyard.
I have to tell you about this bed. It's an Italian import. It's one of the few things that we're actually as an import. And it's the perfect bed for an author with a to-be-read pile because these slide right away. This thing at the end does roll forward. It rolls right up if you want. And the best part about it is that it has a table. If you want to sit up there and you can have breakfast in bed, heavy hardback books can sit up there really nicely, and it's just a gorgeous bed.
But when Stephanie wants to get away from work, the ultimate indulgence is right next door.
And the pool room is a very central part of this house because it's where I can get most of my exercise, particularly in winter when I can't go walking around the property.
When they're not in use, the lap pool and the hot tub are covered to keep in the heat and stop evaporation.
This is one of the secondary bedrooms, the guest bedrooms. This is probably a good place to show off some of the beautiful woodwork. All the wood in this house, every single piece has been cut to the specific size required, down to millimetre tolerances.
And that helps to keep the house even more insulated. Around a third of heat loss from homes is through poorly fitting window frames. Across the hallway, there's a guest bathroom. Again, all the faucets are low flow and the toilet is dual flush, a must-have under Australian law.
This is the laundry room that we've come into, and a lot of people have described it as one of the most amazing laundry rooms in the world. One of the things that was actually my idea, and I have to say that neither my husband, nor the builder, nor the architect, nor the cabinet maker really understood why I wanted this, but it hides away 2 gigantic sinks in there.
But there's one thing you won't find in here.
We don't actually have dryers, clothes dryers. We don't really need them because even in winter, all you need to do is to put up an airing rack here, put your clothes on it, 24 hours and your clothes are dried. You just don't need to use that sort of energy. And really, there's nothing better than clothes that have been crisp dried in sun. I think it's more the sort of amazement that the place actually works so well, that the final product...
It really came together the way we were hoping it would.
Yes, and if anything, better.
For Stephanie and her family, this home hits just the right balance of work and relaxation. And it goes to show, you don't have to sacrifice any creature comforts to have a luxurious, eco-friendly home.